Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Barry Selby. This is my daily Facebook Live. Where do I begin? Let's just start with who I am, make it easy. I'm a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion for the divine feminine, and today's topic actually came out of a conversation earlier today. A friend of mine I was talking to who says she wants to get my book, and I'm actually going to plug it here. This is my book, by the way. See, I'm a published author. 50 Ways to Love Your Lover, Barry Selby. So you got a picture on the back. 50 Principles for Healthy Relationships. And she basically inspired a response from me that spoke to one of the chapters. So I thought I'd just talk about the idea of assumption and also this lack of understanding in communication with each other. And I'm going to use her example first and then come back to another piece about the assumption part, which is this. If I get to it, hang on a second, I'm just... Oh, let me give you the title, by the way. This is Message to the Masculine, number 178. I think I said you're making too many assumptions, especially in a relationship, something like that. But I want to speak to also the idea about how we don't listen to each other. And what I mean also is we don't speak to each other. It's not going to get complicated, it's actually going to get simple, so bear with me. The context of what this comes from, I was speaking to a friend of mine this morning, is that my friend was talking about how her boyfriend made some assumptions without asking her first. And he's supposed to have known better. But the thing is, that'll come back to, but what I want to get to is her way of communicating after the fact to get his attention in a way that is constructive versus destructive. And I think if you're watching this and you're in a relationship, ideally you want to be constructive versus destructive toward the relationship. So listen up. This is one of the chapters in my book, by the way. That's why I plugged it. And I call it he said, she said, is the wrong way of approaching it. It's more about I feel, you feel. And in this context, what was coming up for her was he didn't understand her and didn't speak to her in, well, how do we say this? I've talked before about the 5 love languages that Gary Chapman wrote a book about, which is great stuff, by the way. If you haven't read the book, I recommend it highly. I don't get any benefits from that. I just say it's a great book. The 5 love languages is a game changer for many people. Anyway, in the conversation she was saying about her boyfriend steamrolled her in a way by just going over her, by negating, without realizing it, her love language to do something else. And she felt violated and felt unsafe about it. Now, her way of responding might not have been this way. So this way I'm recommending she does it in the way you recommend you do it. Is how I said to her afterwards, said, look, when you talk to him next, speak from the place of ownership, of feeling. So rather than saying, you shouldn't have done that, or when you did this, it sucked, or whatever it was, saying, when this happened, I felt unsafe. When you did this, I felt violated. And I wanted to speak to you from the place of how it hurt me, not against them as necessarily making them wrong. And this is the key. If you make the other person wrong, they have nowhere to go. They can't correct, because most of the time when you make somebody else wrong, they're stuck in the wrongness, if that's a word. If you come from a place of how you felt about something, you actually bring them closer to you because you've actually been vulnerable with them and intimate with them, but also you've given them a sense to respond where they can come back and course correct. And ideally, in these situations, you want course correction to be healthier and more whole. Sorry, I'm waiting to see if I need to switch to the assumption part. Yeah, I think I'm going to leap to the assumption piece from the beginning. So here's the second part, which is making assumptions is dangerous business. Of course, you've probably heard this quote about, when you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. It's an old, I think it's from the 70s or 80s, breakdown of the word. But when you make assumptions, or presumptions for that matter, what you're doing is denying the other person their voice. Ooh, how does that sound? When you assume for somebody else, you're denying that person their voice. And that ain't healthy. In fact, what you're doing is you're deciding for the two of you without their permission. Now, before you react with some other response, because I know there's another thought coming behind this, right behind this, which is if you are in a relationship where you have understanding and your partner says to you, decide for me and make these certain choices you make for your partner, automatically, that's one thing. But I'm talking about where you let that go beyond the agreement of what you have into an area where maybe you haven't decided that. And their reaction may be blown up out of proportion because what you've done is you've trodden on their toes. You didn't actually say to them, Is this okay with you? I want to do this. Can I include you in the conversation? Or can I make this decision based on what you're thinking? And yes, you may say, well, I know that person so well, I can decide for them. Maybe, and maybe not. So my suggestion, my invitation to you is be willing to ask. Be willing to be willing to be not knowing, so you can have the other person fill in the blanks for you. Because that person may be someone who is sorry, I have a hat here. I was at Agape this morning and I had my hat on. For some reason my hair looks kind of what's left of it. It looks a bit wonky. That's my self-deprecating humor. So this whole thing about assuming and also about not listening. If people get this, or if you know anybody should listen to this and share it with them, it could save perhaps 30% of the relationships that are going downhill. That simply if you just get over this one, because if you listen to each other and you include each other, they'll feel valued, which is half the battle in a relationship. You want to be valued by the other person. Not codependent, that's a whole other conversation. But the opportunity to be included in the conversation. The trap is we get lazy with each other after a period of time. Initially, it's always like, what do you want, honey? Honey, this would be great, and lead the way, and let's do this. But people tend to get assumptive after a few months or a few years, and they forget to respect the other person enough to ask them. So there's two pieces here. One is asking to get more information so you don't assume. And the second thing is also when you voice you're upset because something happened, you speak from the feeling of what happened versus judging and blaming the other person. That's your lesson for today. I'm keeping this one short because yesterday's, by the way, if you didn't watch yesterday's broadcast, it stirred up a lot of people and it's been shared out quite a bit too. I spoke to the thing about sexual abuse and its hereditary nature. So if that's a whole different conversation. That's why I wanted to make today's a bit more light and more simple teaching versus provoking upset and discussion. Well, it wasn't meant to provoke upset, it's provoking conversation. But if you want to look at that, go back and look at that's number 177. And by the way, just give me the broad spectrum here. These are my daily Facebook Live broadcasts. If you've never been here before, I do these daily. That's why they're called daily broadcasts. And this is number 178. Admittedly, the first 20-25 were weekly, but for the last 150 plus, they've been daily. So you can watch all of them if you wish to browse. If you want to binge watch my broadcast, feel free to do so. The easiest way is to go to my website, which is barryselby.com, and click on the video blog, and you can look through everyone from the latest to the oldest, and you can scan through any one of them, find a title that speaks to you, and hit play and watch them. They all run about 10 minutes to 12 minutes each, give or take. If you want to watch them on Facebook, they're on my business page. They're more easily found on my business page because there's less other stuff there. My personal page has other shares and posts. So it's Barry Selby as well, which is the one with the blue business shirt on. Or you can find them on YouTube. My channel is Barry Selby. Also, my playlist is Messages from the Masculine. And these are an ongoing series of talks called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. So that's basically my what's I'm looking for? My ode for the day, my inspirational teaching for the day, and hopefully you take it to heart. If you're in a relationship, please review this and see if this fits for you, because you might find this will change your life and your relationship and your partner. That's a threefer. That's a deal. And again, if you want to find out more about my book, this is it, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. You can go to let's spin the camera. If you go to 50waystoLoveYourLover.com or go to barryselby.com /book, you can find about it there. You can get the physical book like this, which has got lots of stuff in it. I'm raising them backwards on the camera. Or you can get the ebook version and download it right now and start reading it. Or you can get the Kindle version, but I don't really recommend it. The Kindle version is the same content, but the layout sucks, to be totally transparent. I like the layout of the physical book and the ebook version, both of which you can get on my website. And that, I think, is that. If you find this is valuable to you, please share it with other people who might get value too. If you haven't watched my other broadcasts, please do so. And as a reminder, as always, I invite you to please take care of yourself. Because it's the best thing you can do. Take care of yourself so other people can take care of you. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. And with that, I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.